Anyway, let's continue for now.
Just the other day, you were banned from Twitter. So I noticed just the other day you were banned from Twitter. Now, I'm somebody, nobody can argue against my lefty credentials. Everybody knows I'm a man of the left. Having said that, my solution on this issue of social media censorship has always been, look, we need to expand First Amendment protections. And the way you do that is to regulate these big social media companies like they're public utilities. So if you do that, then basically you're saying this is the new public square and people can.
Please help me communicate with HasanAbi about the BBC World interview. Can't DM you. Yeah, you're talking to CMAC, right? Just give him the details on what it's about.
Speak their mind here. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, you can't, dox people or do direct threats of violence or anything.
He's definitely not a leftist. Of course he is. The fuck do you mean? Kyle Kalinske has, he has like takes that I don't. Kyle Kalinske has takes that I don't like always agree with, but yeah, he is still definitely a leftist. Come on, don't be ridiculous now.
Anything that's actually illegal will remain illegal, but outside of that, you can't censor people just based on political opinion. So, I definitely wouldn't have banned you, suspended you, etc. But I do have a question about that specific tweet that did get you in trouble because, you said something to the effect of,
well, I don't know if it got me in trouble. I don't think I'm in trouble. Twitter banned me, but I don't consider that trouble.
Dog, you made a whole fucking video about it. Of course you're in trouble. Or are you saying that you made a whole fucking video about it for no reason? I guess that's technically what he's saying, right? That's what he's talking about. Not in trouble. Okay.
That's fair enough. Fair point. But you said something to the effect of, remember when pride was a sin?
I gotta pee.
And
I'll be back.
The criminal physician.
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Criminal physician, exactly. So my question is the physician really criminal? If you agree that adults can decide to transition, then why would the physician be criminal? Don't adults have that right if they want to transition?
Not everything legal isn't criminal. And do they have that right? See, I would have left Ellen Page alone if she hadn't been parading her new abs in a fashion magazine. How many kids do you think she can convince to convert? 1?
Yeah.
1,000? No, not
See,
yeah.
No,
really.
I want to respond to that. I think that with the trans community, it's very similar to the gay community, where back when that first became a big issue, people thought, oh, if we talk about it, if it's in magazines or whatever, we're promoting kids to go down that path. But really what happened is people are who they are. And if they're gay, they just decided to be like, yeah, I'm gay. And they were just more open and honest with themselves. So I don't think you're promoting people to do that.
No,
you're
that's
just
not
saying,
what happened.
if you are that, it's okay.
Wrong.
Okay. Well,
you're utterly
wrong.
I'm
listening.
There's
I'm
nothing
listening.
about that that's right.
So explain.
Well, there's been an absolute look. One of the reasons that I opposed Bill C-16 in Canada to begin with, this pronoun compelled speech bill, was because I knew perfectly well what was going to happen when we introduced confusion about gender identity into the public sphere. Now, the argument was that if we left people with gender dysphoria alone to make their own way and stop torturing them, that we would decrease the mental health load on those individuals. And my analysis as a clinician was that for every one person of that sort that we hypothetically saved, we doom 1,000 more as a consequence of confusion and social confusion.
Dude, that's awesome. Hey, Jordan, I think you got those facts wrong, brother. For like every supposed person that you believe is like, statistically speaking, at least, if you were to actually look at the empirical evidence, for every person that regrets their decision to transition, okay, the overwhelming majority, not like 99% are actually super happy and their lives are greatly improved as a consequence of this. So, yeah, just no, dude. No, you are so wrong. None? Wait, are you talking to me? Are you actually a believer that like there are too many people there are there's a significant number of people who regret transitioning, because that's not true. Oh, okay. No, he was talking to Jordan Peterson. Okay, hold on. I got to run it back. I want to hear this again. I'm sorry.
Public sphere. Now, the argument was that if we left people with gender dysphoria alone to make their own way and stop torturing them, that we would decrease the mental health load on those individuals. And my analysis as a clinician was that for every one person of that sort that we hypothetically saved, we doom 1,000 more as a consequence of confusion and social contagion. I knew the literature on psychogenic epidemics.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the opposite of that, by the way. Like, he's just lying. I don't think I mean, maybe he knows he's lying. Maybe he doesn't know he's lying, but he's lying. The notion of like social contagion and like people are being transed is completely ridiculous. And not only that, but also, for every one person that's getting a justifiable surgery or undergoing HRT and transitioning, there's 1,000 is just the exact reverse, as a matter of fact. Actually, even worse than that. There are tens of thousands of people that get this surgery, and oftentimes there's like one. It's a smaller percentage than 1%, if I'm not mistaken. What is this? Why are you sending me a fucking Google Doc, bro? Think I'm gonna click on your Google Doc? Yeah. The detransitioning rates are super, super fucking rare. But not only that, but also like he knows it's the J.K. Rowling take of girls are being convinced to be trans because, again, women are too stupid to know themselves. Yeah. Chatters have now gone. Chatters used to just send me essays that I didn't read in the chat. Now they've decided to like literally write essays on fucking Google Docs with the hopes that I read them. I'm not reading your essays, motherfucker. I'm streaming right now. What? They've shipped them? Yeah, that's true. They used to ship the essays to me when the P.O. box was open. Is the ultimate research documents a compilation of a bunch of useful studies? I'm not clicking on that, dude. People regret cosmetic surgeries all the time. Why aren't they worried about banning those? That's actually a really good point, especially because the cosmetic surgery procedure is not like life-saving in the same way. Cosmetic surgeries can be life-saving, but it's life-improving for the most part. However, having said that, cosmetic surgeries are not in the same vein as life-saving of a medical procedure as HRT is, considering the suicide rate of trans people. Only one child in the cohort later identified as cisgender after being prescribed puberty blockers or hormone therapy, and the others who re-identified as cis did so before blockers were even on the table. Yeah. And once again, it's wild for Jordan Peterson to say this, considering that he has gotten gender-affirming surgery in the form of a hair transplant surgery. So he literally did that. Jordan Peterson's hairline didn't used to look like this. It has gotten worse over the years, but it used to be much worse than this. He got hair plugs. So, shut the fuck up, Jordan.
They used to call that mass hysteria, and it's a literature that goes back about 300 years. And often when you introduce social confusion, you can produce a psychogenic epidemic, especially generally it's adolescent females who are most susceptible to it. So I thought, oh, well, what's going to happen is we'll produce a psychogenic epidemic of gender dysphoria among adolescent females. And that is exactly what's happened. And it isn't the fact that we've freed up people who are in doubt about.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Even so, of course, I have no problem with this. I have no issue with this because I'm not a fucking transphobic piece of shit. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, yeah, they're these doctors, these big trans, they're in the pocket of big trans. Oh, no. A lot of trans people are going to be comfortable in their own bodies. That's unacceptable. I want them to kill themselves. That's Jordan Peterson's entire take. If you're transphobic, that's literally what you're fucking saying. You just don't want people to comfortably transition. You don't want people to be fucking comfortable in their own skin. You don't want it. For what reason? For made up reasons. Literally, he made up the reason. He said, oh, well, what about the people that detransition, bucko? It is statistically insignificant in comparison to the overwhelming amount of positivity that comes from people who are getting people who are transitioning and how much their fucking suicide rates drop as a consequence of that. It's ridiculous. And it's still too high even after surgery. Because social acceptance is unfortunately incredibly low because of people like this fucking asshole. But ultimately, remember, like these are guys who are technically social libertarians. Like, they're not. It's a specialization that some plastic surgeons have, but there's no trans medical school, like no BBL med school or nose job med school. No.
For you lefty types and your anti-corporatism, growth rate projection, 15% per year.
Dude, this is my favorite type of right-wing reactionary commentary now is like, well, we hate corporations. You know? Well, I hate corporations. Like, bro, you're literally an oil lobbyist. Homie, you are an oil lobbyist, okay? You have done lobbying. You have repeated oil lobbyist propaganda. What the fuck do you mean, big trans?